Red flags, yellow flags, the dreaded black flag, and of course the checkered flag. All familiar sights on any racetrack. Now open any motorcycling newspaper or magazine and it's full of adverts for track days. Well, what on earth is a track day? Well, we're here at Oulton Park in Cheshire to try and explain. Well, I won't bother trying to explain what a track day is. I'll let Dave explain. Dave Ambrose from Redline Performance, who very kindly invited us here today. Dave, if I can hear me, just tell us in basic terms, what is a track day?
Yeah, a track day is basically a day where people can bring their own bikes onto a circuit. They use the bikes on the circuits and get the best of their ability from their bikes and themselves. It's a nice, safe environment. There's no other traffic on the circuit, and it's a good, safe way to have good fun on your bike.
Right, well, I'll second that. But there's a grouping system, isn't there?
Yeah.
Red, and I noticed you've got one of each sticker on your bike. Yeah. This is yours. Yeah. Can you not make up your mind, or what?
Well, it's one of the perks of being an organiser, a universal pass. The grouping system we have is red, yellow and green. Red is experienced, green is a less experienced, and the yellow is intermediate. Right. So when people come, they get grouped according to ability. We get them out on the track so they're with riders of equal ability. So
these flags that I was playing with before, reds, yellows, blacks, obviously checkered. Tell us briefly about the flagging system.
Right. Well, the flags are the only way we can communicate to people as they razz past. A checkered flag means the session's over, and they continue around the circuit and then come into the pit lane. If you see a red flag, that means there's danger. So that means you stop. So everybody slows down, stops, the session's finished, and they come into the pits. A yellow flag means there's danger ahead. It's not quite serious to stop the session, but it's serious enough to warn people to slow down. So if you see a yellow flag, that means slow down. And the dreaded black flag, if a marshal black flags you, he means he wants to have a word with you in the pits. It's either you're driving like a lunatic, or there's a problem with your bike that you haven't noticed and he's pulling you in to sort it out. So there's two reasons you can be black flagged, but lucky none today so far.
None yet. So everyone, they pay a fee to come here, which is what, 80 quid is it for today?
Yeah, it's 80 quid, yeah.
So what do you get for that? How many sessions a day?
Yeah. Well, we're looking at about 2.5 to 3 hours track day, track time per day. So that's probably equates to at least 10 sessions on the track. Right. So it's a good day. I mean, people will go home with their tyres completely knackered.
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah.
they'll need a new set of tyres after today. It's a good fun day out.
Yeah, excellent. I'll second that. Right, we've just come back off about the fourth session now, and just to show that it does pay to enter competitions on two wheels better, here's two of the winners winning the track day. Brad from Warrington.
Warrington indeed.
And John from
Birmingham.
Birmingham, right, recognise the accent. Brad, what do you think of this?
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Don't matter what bike you've got, at the end of the day I'm driving an RD 350, an old thing, rebuilt, it don't matter, just come down, loads of fun. Well worth the £80 if you... Well worth the £80 if you are paying for it. Is this going to be on Beatles About?
It might be, yeah.
Yeah, well worth the £80. Brilliant. Glad I won it. Excellent to be here.
Right. Okay. Have you done it before?
No, never.
Right. Okay. John, have you done anything like this before?
Never. Never in my life.
And how are you finding it?
It's a bit worrying at times, but...
Because, no, if you don't mind me saying, after the first session this morning, you were a bit unsure of whether to bother or not, weren't you?
Yeah, but I say, the more you practice, the better you get. So the more these days you can do, the better.
That's right, yeah. Well, as I keep stressing to people, I talk to people and they say, oh, it's frightening. When the bikes are whoom, whoom past you, it's frightening. I said, well, forget them. Don't worry about them. You're here to get what you can out of it. And do you think you've got something out of it?
Yeah, fine, yeah. I'll go hit the corners a lot better now, a lot better.
Yeah. And what you're riding? ZZR?
ZZR 600.
Right. That's
First
all right.
machine.
Your first machine?
First machine, yeah.
And you're here on a track. Look at the sweat rolling off me.
It's rolling off me as well.
It's rolling off me. Well, congratulations, John. Have a great day. And well done, Brad, and enjoy what's the rest of it.
Cheers, mate. Thanks very much.
Well, after you've given your bike a hard day on the track, you might need a few things for it. You might need a new set of brake pads. You might even need a new gearbox. Something you probably will need, if you've been doing it properly and riding very hard, is a new set of tyres. And a familiar sight at any track day is one of these, a tyre truck. This is the Avon tyre truck. Leo and Clive from Avon. Are you busy today, Leo?
Oh, we've been quite busy today. It's the weather's been hot and the guys have been giving it some rice, and when you do that, unfortunately, you tend to get through a few tyres.
So are you here, you're not just here purely selling, are you?
No, we're here really to provide tyre fitment advice for the guys using the track, and that's our main function. The guys behind us at SMD are doing the fitting and the selling of the tyres.
Right. So what's the most popular tyre? What's this Avon Azaro that everybody's singing and dancing about?
Well, it seems to be the kiddie on the block at the moment. A lot of people are sort of trying the Azaro and they're liking it because it's a very unusual tyre. It gives you sports performance, but it gives you mileage as well. So you can come and you can do a track day, and at the end of it probably go away and still have some tyre left for the road for a while. So it's just good value for money.
Excellent. Well, you've convinced me. You've not got a set of these Azaros to fit a CBR 600, have you, Clive?
For you, Paul, not a chance.
Not a chance. Where's your wallet?
Thanks, lads. Look at this. You can't leave anything round here. They pinch anything. Look, they've nicked my wheel. No, they've not nicked my wheel, actually. I've done that many miles around this track today, and, well, I think I've been giving it some stick. Not going half as fast as some of these guys. Well, guess what? I need a new set of tyres.
And now, on Uncle Jeff's workshop, we're featuring...
brakes.
And the same to you. Brakes.
But this isn't bone brakes or coffee brakes. This is how to stop.
Damn.
All right. So sorry about that.
That's okay.
Now, I know you're a keen mountain bike rider, and you stay on that, don't you, most of the time?
Yeah, actually I'm worse on my mountain bike than I am on my motorbike.
But anyway, brakes on that, cable operated, and you've probably noticed that, little bits of cable that pull the things on. On a bike, they're hydraulically operated. Old days cables, now hydraulics. So you have master cylinders, sleeve cylinders, and all the rest of it. But the essence of a hydraulic is hydraulic oil, which is a special lightweight oil, fitted in a master cylinder, goes down a piece of rubber tubing into the main brake cylinder. But we'll come to that in a while. Probably easier to show you if you just drop the old seat off, the old quacker.
Drop the old seat off.
Because you know that's the front brake lever, don't you, up on the handlebars?
No, I mean, evidently no.
That's where you've been going wrong. Rear brake lever down there. It's more difficult to show, but there's a cylinder down the side there which operates your rear brakes. But here is the rear brake reservoir with the fluid in it.
How often should you be checking your brake fluid level?
You should keep a regular eye on it. I mean, I think the handbook, it's a good point, we'll have to come to handbook later on. The handbook would probably say check it weekly, but I keep an eye on it about sort of monthly. That may look low, but in fact it's right between the high and low level marks. If you look over the other side, Diane, there's a couple of marks there. See, just engraved on the plastic, upper and lower levels. This little rubber diaphragm in the top here, because hydraulic oil is hygroscopic, it absorbs moisture.
Good word.
It is a good word, it's a big word, but I said it right. And that diaphragm fits in there to keep as much air out as possible. And because it allows to move up and down with the fluid, because as your brake pads wear, that fluid level goes down. And then you put new brake pads in, pushes the level back up. So that's the rear one. Just moving back to the front, the reason I did that, it was easier than these are vandal-proof. Well, they're sort of vandal. They stop little kids undoing them and popping the Smarties in there or whatever it happens to be. So these have got screws on there. Same system though. And in here, if I move the bars slightly, there's a little window. You can see the clutch one's similar. Little window gives you the fluid level in there. Again, halfway up.
Good.
So in here, you've got the lever. Hear that little click?
Yeah.
What's that?
I don't know.
That's the stoplight switch, that is.
telling me.
You are honest, yeah. That's operating the stoplight off the front brake. But in there, you've got your lever, adjustable on Kawasaki's for different hand spans. But that operates a small piston inside this master cylinder. So as you pull it in, if you can imagine it pushing a little piston along and pushing a column of oil along down the rubber brake hoses, right? Then come this way, young lady.
I'll come over here.
Yeah. Right, so what we've got here, there's a caliper. Now this is what they call a 4-pot one. You've heard of 4-pot and 6-pots and things like that, have you?
I have.
Yeah, right.
Off you. You knew that.
Don't say it like that, young lady. I'll give you 100 lines. But anyway, these are 4-pot calipers. This is because this has got pistons in there. 1, 2, and then on the other side, 3, 4. So that's a 4-pot. 6-pot, simply you'd see 3 down here, 3 the other side. 6-pot spreads the load over, allows you to use larger brake pads and spreads the load, but these are perfectly adequate for this machine, works well. So hydraulic fluid into there, operates on these calipers, replicates the hand lever in a way in that this time it pushes the pistons down against the pad. And I happen to have prepared some earlier.
Great.
Sorry about the condition of these, but I got them from a friendly local breakers. This is in fact a Kawasaki rear caliper, not off mine. See, mine's not that dirty, is it? But you can see big pad, small pad, or piston rather. Now there's the pistons. Take that out for a while. There's one of the pistons, and the fluid goes through that inlet there, out into this piston here. You can just about see a rubber seal in there, and so as you pull the lever, you push this piston out. And you could well say, well, what's that going to do for me?
Well, what's that going to do for me, Jeff?
That operates, these little buttons here are sort of pressure pads, just to stop, you know, direct metal to metal contact. Pad fits in there, or rather the other way around, it would go like that. Brake disc here.
I love this bit.
Yeah, that fits in there. Other pad the other side, but you won't go in. Oh, and it does. Now these aren't the right pads for this caliper, but that's the principle, as you can see.
Yeah.
And so as the pistons push against the pads, they'll clamp your disc and stop you with a bit of luck.
Great. What about all the holes?
Yeah. Now those, they look good, don't they? It looks sort of super trick, but they do have a function. They remove excess rainwater off the discs and save a bit of weight. But while we're on discs, remember I mentioned this vernier caliper on the first programme we did. This is where you can actually measure the width of the disc to see if the disc itself is worn.
Right.
And if you look carefully, young lady, you will see on the disc here, minimum, see that? Minimum thickness, 4.5 millimetre.
Great.
And you shouldn't run that disc at anything thinner than 4.5 millimetre.
Right.
The other thing, while we're on discs, you've heard of fully floating discs and floating discs and all the rest of it. Well, this is a semi-floating disc. In that is the central carrier, and this is the disc itself. And these little steel buttons in between, they lock the two together, but they allow the disc to actually float slightly against the carrier, just in case there's any distortion.
Right. And there's the disc on the Duke over here is
now that's
slightly different,
something
isn't it?
completely different to say. Now these are fully floating discs on the Ducati. Hear that rattling?
Yeah.
That's not rattling because they're worn out. They're supposed to be like that. They do float. Same construction as you can see with these buttons, but it allows them to centre nicely between the pads.
Great.
So that's fully floating, that's semi-floating.
Lovely. It looks like we're going to have to come back to brakes.
Yes.
At another time.
After the break,
I have to go. I'm going to have a proper break now. Okay. Thanks, Jeff.
We're here at D&K Motorcycles again in Stoke-on-Trent. I've got with me Kevin Neeson, who's a partner in the company, and we're surrounded by this collection of immaculate, tired old bikes, you could call them. These bikes here, are they all suffering from sort of accident damage, or are they just tired old things that people have got fed up with?
No, some will be tired bikes basically that are worn out past the sell-by date. Some are imported from America as well, which will probably tend to be less worn out than the English ones.
And these American ones, these are ones I've heard about where you often find the chromes in better condition in the paintwork because of their climate, is that right? Are these the ones you get?
They're generally chrome work and this sort of thing is a lot better condition. They don't suffer from the rust problems that ours do. These particular ones won't have much left on them as a way of good chrome work.
Right, well, these are sort of, well, as I said, a collection of bits and pieces. I can see an old CX500 there. But you do have better bikes that you also break, don't you? You know, bikes that are almost resaleable at second-hand dealers.
Yes, we break a good quality bikes as well, so that you can sell the good quality spares. There's a demand for all types of spares, from brand new to things that are virtually worn out.
What decides you on that? Is it the fact that you think the bike is worth more in its component parts than it is at its retail price, or what? You know, what decides you on
it's
that?
a straightforward mathematical equation. If the bike is worth more money in parts, then we'll sell it for parts. If it's worth more money as a total component, then we'll sell it like that.
Tell me, Kevin, other bits and pieces here. We've got a shot of this lot, but I'd actually like to see specific components. And when you break the bikes down, you put all these on racks, do you? And
yes,
put them on a sophisticated computer system?
We don't have a sophisticated computer system, unfortunately. What we do, we put them all on racks, neat and tidy, and if you want, I'll take you and show you the racks.
OK, excellent. Well, this is a really great place to be, isn't it? Terrible pun, that, but nevertheless. Now, wheels, you've got a hell of a range of wheels here. We've got a couple in front of us, one nice and shiny and one not so shiny. But that must be a concern to a lot of people. If they're buying a wheel, they want to know if it's been in crash damage. How do you actually decide whether the wheel's sound or not? You got anything scientific going on here?
We don't use any particularly scientific methods other than we just check every wheel for trueness and give it an inspection to make sure there's no cracks or anything. If the bike was damaged when it came in initially, the wheel's discarded at that point anyway.
Is it? Yeah.
So anything that's here should be good.
OK, so to be fair, if we came to a CBR6, for instance, how does that fare, you know, front wheel?
Yeah, you'd pay about £100 for CBR 600 front wheel.
And as against new?
Probably in the region of £300.
Yeah, so it's still a fair saving.
It's a big saving.
OK, we're talking about CBRs. You must have loads of CBR parts. Can we go and have a look at those?
Yeah, I'll take you to the CBR shelf.
OK, great. So, CBR 600 carburetors, how much?
They'd be £80 plus VAT to you.
And what would new price be?
Frightening. You'd be looking at in the region of £800 to £1,000 off the top of my head.
How much?
£800 to £1,000.
Oh, grief. So how are you able to sell? Is it that there's not that much demand for carburetors? Is that why you can sell them so cheap then?
Yes, it's an item that's not got a great demand.
Yeah.
So it's reflected in the price. Again, nobody in the right mind would pay £1,000.
No. It's truth. What a lot of money. And what else have we got here? So you got rear wheel sprockets?
Yeah, sprocket carriers.
Yeah.
Again, it's an item you pay about £25 for.
Yeah. And new?
New, again, guessing probably about £80.
Yeah. So again, considerable savings. And
yes.
Again, the rider himself can inspect those, can't he, and have a good idea.
Yeah, it's a part that isn't really. You may as well buy used as new because it's only one standard. They're either good or bad.
That's right. What else have we got here? What's another popular? Oh, see, footrest hangers. A bit. The few of those you get through, are there?
Yeah, footrest hangers. Again, a very popular item. So you'd pay a premium price for.
Yeah.
You'd perhaps only get them at about half the new price on those.
It's truth. So have you noticed whether people tend to fall off more on the left than they do the right?
Yes, you do. You do tend to get more demand for one side than the other.
Do you? Yeah. Do you know off the top of your head which side it is? Just out of interest. OK. And I see you see expansion tanks as well.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't have thought there was much of a demand for those other than post-accident damage.
Again, you get a little demand, not too great.
No.
But we've probably broken 30 CBR 600s, and as you can see, there's only maybe 6 or 7 water tanks there. So they must sell in reasonably good quantities.
Typical price then?
About £10.
It's like the Antiques Roadshow, isn't it? And new would be what, 40?
Again, around about that £40.
Yeah. So again, massive saving. Now headlamps. Now I know for a fact they're mega expensive, aren't they?
Yes, they are a very expensive item. Again, you will pay a premium price for a headlight because it is the first part to get damaged generally, and they're very, very much in demand. You'd pay about £80 for that. Yeah. As opposed to a new price of about £160.
Yeah. So again, and again, you can see for yourself, can't you?
Yes,
you know, it's okay, it's intact, and no doubt it's working. And if it's not, someone will bring it back.
Yeah.
Interestingly, what do you do about guarantees and whatnot if someone buys it in good faith? I mean, if they bring it back and say, hey, it's not working.
It's very difficult. I mean, we'd expect, obviously, there can be little debate over something like a headlight. At the end of the day, it's either good or it's bad. Where you get problems more than anything else is like with paintwork and things like that, where people are perhaps expecting perfect paintwork, where it's maybe unreasonable. You try and be fair and describe things well to people.
But if there was any real hassle, you know, if someone brought it, as say, a headlamp that didn't work, you'd just exchange it, would you? And
yes, normally we would.
Yeah.
Silencers is a very popular item, particularly, again, when they're in good condition. It's one of the first things to get marked. You can see a little bit of dust.
Yeah.
It's...
But, I mean,
that's... to dust this morning.
You need a Mrs. Mop round here. Yeah. Now that's an expensive bit of kit, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's the new price on
that?
A
new on that would be about £400 to £500.
Yeah.
But you would find we have to price them competitively, because if they're too expensive, people would just replace them with aftermarket pipes,
right,
as opposed to a standard pipe.
Yeah. So what's
probably
the price
about £70.
Yeah. Again, a hell of a saving.
It is.
Engines everywhere. I can see gold wings from here and little two-strokes and GSXR 750 by the looks of this. So what's the setup here? Well, first, can I ask you, where's the cylinder head gone for this? You've flogged it, I presume? Yeah,
we've sold that one because basically it's an accident-damaged engine. So as such, the engine wasn't worth anything as a complete unit, so we sell the individual parts.
This one looks very, very new from the look of the seal here, isn't it? Yeah. There's no oil on the thing.
No, it's probably an engine that's only done 200 or 300 miles.
Yeah. Struth. And having sold the cylinder head off that, the rest of it, if someone wanted the odd piston or whatnot, you might just break it down or start a motor and all the rest of it. But as a complete engine, that one's gone.
No, that one's finished now.
Yeah. What would you normally do if you did have a complete engine? That's the last thing you'd want to do, is sell the cylinder head off it, if the rest of it, if it was a runner.
Yeah,
is that right?
Depending on the individual model, it varies, but generally we sell the engines as a complete component.
Yeah. Which is the most popular engine that you tend to stock?
Probably the early 80s engines, such as CB 750 double red cam engines, CB 900s.
What about the old GSXR 750s or 1100s, renowned in sort of trick bike street fighters and all the rest of it? There must be a demand.
The 1100 engines, GSXR 1100 motors of all types are very, very much in demand. Yeah. They always command big money.
Yeah, I bet they do, because every special you seem to see has a GSXR 750.
Yeah.
But I mean, how many engines, perhaps it's unfair to ask you, but you've just got a whole room full here. Just how many engines do you think
we
you
have?
Carry?
About 6,000 to 7,000 engines in stock.
Oh, Bennett. And you know what? Can you give me a quick rundown on
I know most.
Hardly, but I see you got an old Suzuki, the old kettle.
GT750 engine.
Yeah, must be a rarity now. Oh, you got another one there. So if anyone's looking for GT750s, there they are. And the old Ram Air Suzukis. And so, are these in any sort of order? These are Suzukis then, but they can be 4-strokes and 2-strokes by the looks of them?
Yes, they should be in a proper order, but unfortunately they're not.
Yeah, but nevertheless, if someone makes that call, you can find them.